Wow. If you are looking for consistency, don't ever become an atheist. If you want to offend an atheist, claim to know anything as truth. They must deny the truth because Jesus Christ is the truth. Jesus Christ said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but by me. So atheists must reject the truth because they claim there is no God. An argument against atheism is that you just became an atheist because you want to sin. I've never made that claim, but many people do. Let's hear what Matt Dillahunty has to say on this issue.
So I'm wondering, have they actually investigated Carrier's claims? Or is this just an attempt to smear someone? Is this just an attempt to poison the well with this common kind of Christian attack of, oh, you atheists, you just love your sin. God has given you over to reprobate minds. You just don't want to live in a world governed by God. Y'all just love to sin. Essentially, the core claim here is that atheists, rather than honestly rejecting supernatural claims on the basis of insufficient evidence, have instead merely looked for some reason to reject the God that they don't want to serve. We're in love with our sin. The problem with this entire line of argument is that it essentially calls us liars. It's essentially saying that, yes, we hear you guys talk about evidence and burden of proof, but you're not really an atheist because of that. You're really just an atheist because you love to sin and you did not want to live under the yoke of God or under the responsibility of appealing and obeying God's positions. They don't offer any evidence of this.
I don't think we need to provide any evidence for this because we'll just let you do it.
And one of the things that atheists often get criticized for is, or I have and others have, is this claim that, well, y'all just want to sin. And we're quick to say, no, I'm sorry, that's not actually it. We actually have reasoned arguments. We've thought about this. We've considered it. It's not just that we want to sin. Screw that. It's okay to not believe if you just want to sin. It really is. And what I mean by that is religions tell people to divorce themselves from who they are, who you are as human beings. Oh, you can't be gay. Screw you. If I'm gay, I'm gay. If you want to call it sinning, and you don't think that's a good enough reason for me to stop believing in your God who you think made me and now I'm this way and there's nothing I can do about it, or you want to call it a choice or whatever else, it doesn't matter. Now, hopefully, we come to better arguments and better reasons and justify our positions better later on. But the number of people who actually do stop believing because they want to, quote, sin is probably pretty high. And they're all right to do it.
I don't have to say anything, do I? I don't have to say anything. He has a position and then he changes it. Consistency is not really a goal of atheism. A goal of atheism is one of two things, or both at the same time. To deny truth and to suppress truth everywhere anybody makes a truth claim. That's the goal of atheism. And in doing so, atheists, as they engage with non-believers, what they're doing is they are trying to crush your faith and validate their lack of faith. I don't mean to beat up on Matt Dillahunty, but there's a lot of material out there by Matt Dillahunty. He was on the Bible Thumping Wingnut show, and he claims on the show, as well as other places, he was a believer for 25 years and studied to be a minister.
25 years as a Southern Baptist, studying to be a preacher. I'm not qualified to comment on Christianity.
Oh, I didn't know you were 25 years and studying to be a preacher. I apologize.
He was a devoted Christian. He said this over and over again. But was he a devoted Christian? Did he even attend church? Was he someone who sought to live the principles that he learned in the Bible? Or was he an ignorant Christian, not involved in the faith? Well, that's the thing about atheists. When they get in an environment of debate, they'll say one thing. But when they get in the environment of comfort of other non-believers, you learn something a little different.
I said, okay, I'm older now. God, if you want me to be a preacher, I'll do it. My roommate was an atheist. I didn't want to get to heaven and have God say, here's this guy that you love like a brother, you lived with for 10 years. Why didn't you do your diligence and help lead him here? Why is he burning in hell? It was your responsibility. So I set out to figure out how to convince an atheist. And that backfired spectacularly.
And we are all thankful for it.
He and I never even had a conversation about it. Early on, when we became friends, we realized that our friendship was more important than a difference about religion. And religion wasn't particularly important to me at that time. I mean, I was a believer, but I'm living life. I wasn't even going to church for a period of time there. And I kind of sussed this all out on my own.
He wasn't even into religion very much. He wasn't into it. He had this best friend who was an atheist, but he realized that he wasn't going to let that stand between him and his friendship with his friend. He didn't attend church. He's studying to be a minister. I'm interested, where would Matt Dillahunty go to study to be a minister where you can have a roommate that's an atheist? I would like to know. I speculate that he wasn't in a Bible school. He was taking some courses that were preparing him for Bible school, but he wasn't actually in a Bible school. He was not actually studying to be a minister. And to say that I wasn't really into my religion and I didn't attend a church and now I have a non-believer, I don't want him to go to hell. Well, Matt, you never understood Christianity to begin with. You never did. It's somewhat entertaining to point out the follies of atheism, the follies of Matt Dillahunty, the inconsistencies, but it's also quite sad. This man is lost, and he stands under the wrath of God. And unless he repents and believes, he will face an eternal punishment of which it will be horrible. He can't imagine it. But what do I know? That's just a truth claim. What kind of a believer were you, Matt? You tell me. Not going to church, didn't know your Bible. You weren't really. It's a kind of a convenient story, isn't it, to tell Christians, "Hey, I was preparing to be a pastor. I was studying to be a minister." You know what? It's not really true, is it, Matt? But you don't really like to tell the truth all the time. Matt, you, the one who says, you've said it often, that you would lie on purpose to a person if it would make them feel better. You would lie to that person. Well, how do the people who follow you, Matt, know when you're telling the truth or not? If somebody claims that there is no God, you saying, hey, I agree with that, there is no God, are you lying? Or are you just making money? Something to think about.